What's going on, guys? Recently, Bleacher Report posted something over on Twitter talking about the top 1-2 punches in the entire MLB, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. All right, this is the list that I'm talking about. The top 10 starting pitching duos in the entire MLB. I've seen a lot of people talking about it in the comments. I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it because I do not agree with almost all of these. Now, I don't like looking at a lot of these lists because I find they really don't take a deep dive, and a lot of it is for clicks, and that is perfectly fine. That's what we're doing right here. We ended up clicking on this. We're making a video about it. So, I mean, they got what they wanted, right? So they have Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola listed as the best starting pitching duo in the entire MLB. That right there is the first mistake, in my opinion, because I don't even think Aaron Nola is the second best pitcher on the Phillies anymore. He has been a ace caliber type of pitcher over the last 6-7 years. I would say he has probably been their number two. But if we're talking right now, this very second, May 5th, at the time of this recording, I am going Ranger Suarez whenever it comes to the Phillies. He has been absolutely elite this year. If they called the season right now, he could very well possibly win Cy Young in the National League. I would go Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez is the best duo in the entire MLB. Now, I would still probably put them number one because I think Zach Wheeler is a Cy Young caliber type pitcher. He's been that way for many years now since he came to the Phillies. They really unlocked his full potential. He is probably a top 3 to top 5 pitcher in the entire league right now. And Ranger Suarez, with the way he's been doing it this year, I talked about Ranger Suarez in the past, especially when it comes to big games, man. Ranger Suarez's postseason stats are some of the best in the entire league. Ranger Suarez knows how to pitch, man. He's an incredible talent. I think it's him and Zach Wheeler right now. Aaron Nola, he's the type of guy that he's gonna go out there, he's gonna do his job, right? And he's really, really good at it. Like he's gonna limit runs. He's gonna limit. Well, I don't even know if he really limits runs anymore, man. Like I feel like the last couple years he's been like a 350 to 450 ERA type guy. He goes out there, he eats a lot of innings. He's a reliable type guy. He's going to keep your team in ball games. That's really what he excels at, I like Aaron Nola. I think he's a really good pitcher, but I don't know. I think Ranger Suarez has taken over that second spot for the Phillies, in my opinion. Hate me if you want. I mean, I know there's a lot of Philly fans out there that really do like Aaron Nola. Now, on the other hand, there's a lot of Philly guys that do not like Aaron Nola. So, Anyways, moving on to number 2, they have Corbin Burnes and Kyle Bradish. This is where it also gets a little silly because Kyle Bradish is not returned yet from injury. They have not paired them two guys together yet. I don't know if you can put those two together as the second best pitching duo in the entire league. I really don't think so because I mean, Kyle Bradish was insanely good last year. Corbin Burnes has been insanely good, a previous Cy Young winner for the Brewers. He's over on the Orioles now. I really think that they got something cooking there, especially with starting pitching. You add Grayson Rodriguez into the mix as well. In my personal list, I bumped these guys down a little bit. I put them around the 5 to 6 range, mainly because Bradish is not there yet. He is hurt. Now, I know this is mainly just going off of, like, putting two names together and let's see how well they can do. And especially this list, like, they're like, let's just throw these two guys there. As far as names go, Corbin Burnes, Kyle Bradish, they are insanely good. Let's put them in second place. In my opinion, I don't think we can because, like I said, Bradish is not there yet. Corbin Burnes is in his first year with the Orioles. We know what Corbin Burnes can do. Kyle Bradish really only had his first good year last season. Can we put him above some of these other guys? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Moving on to number 3, they got Zach Gallen and Jordan Montgomery from the D-backs. Once again, Jordan Montgomery has made like 2 to 3 starts with the Diamondbacks. I think Jordan Montgomery is becoming a little bit of an overrated pitcher. Last year with the Rangers, he was exceptional towards the end of the season. In the playoffs, he was incredible. He knows how to pitch in big games, clearly. But for the majority of Jordan Montgomery's career, he was kind of just a 3-4 guy with the Yankees. He was a 3 to 4 guy in the rotation. When the Cardinals traded for him, he was supposed to be like a 3 to 4 in the rotation. He did exceed that, and he became kind of their ace guy around that time. Even when he was with the Rangers, he was supposed to be kind of like second fiddle to Nathan Eovaldi and maybe even John Gray. And he definitely exceeded that over the last year and a half, and I do think Jordan Montgomery is an incredibly good pitcher. I really like the Diamondbacks going out and getting him. They really completely bolstered their rotation this year. Do I think that it's him and Zach Gallen, though? I don't think so, because in my opinion, one of the most underrated pitchers in the entire league is Merrill Kelly. I have Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly / Jordan Montgomery because Merrill Kelly has been steady as can be over the last, I don't know how many years now. Now, I know he's like 34, 35 years old now, so he's getting towards the end of his career. But he is one of those types of guys that no matter how old you get, you're probably not going to slow down. Like age, like he's not somebody that relies on velocity. He's not somebody that relies on athleticism that crazy, you know. He's somebody that goes out there and he gets his job done. He is starting off this season really good too. I believe he's on the IL right now, but he'll be back hopefully soon, you know. I think Merrill Kelly is an incredibly underrated pitcher in the entire league. I moved Zach Gallen and I guess you could say, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, or Jordan Montgomery down to the 4 spot. They have them at number 3. Zach Gallen is good enough himself that they could probably move them into number 3. I put them at about 4. I put them at about 4 myself. At 4th for them, for Bleacher Report, they have Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert. Now, if you looked at this list at the start of the season, they probably would have had George Kirby alongside Luis Castillo, right? George Kirby, last year, all-star type pitcher coming into the season, me, myself included, a lot of other people had predicted that George Kirby was somebody that could probably even contend for Cy Young in the American League. Obviously, it's still really early. He got beat up a little bit in the first couple starts of the season. What the Mariners are doing right now is absolutely insane. I believe it's 21 or 22 consecutive starts of 2 or less runs. That is insane. The only time they're losing games is if their offense can't push across 2 runs or their bullpen blows it. Like that, they are on an absolutely insane run right now. And I made my list a couple days ago. With the way that they're rolling right now, I might even push them up a little bit further. Logan Gilbert, I believe, in his last 7 or 8 starts, he's got like a 1 ERA. Logan Gilbert could be one of the front runners for American League Cy Young right now, man, in my opinion. I think Logan Gilbert is incredibly talented. Now, I put them up to number 2. Not just because of what they're doing right now. Luis Castillo has been the type of guy that over the last few years, he's been incredibly good. We know what Luis Castillo can give you. Big strikeout guy. Great. Like, I love what Luis Castillo does. He's been the same type of pitcher for how many years now? It's the young guys of Logan Gilbert or George Kirby that you kind of pair, like, okay, who are you going to go with? George Kirby? You're going to go with Logan Gilbert. I mean, both of them, all 3 of them being in that rotation is absolutely insane. And then you got the back end of the rotation, which we don't even talk about because they're just as good, almost just as good. But if we are going with Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert, because Logan Gilbert has been insane this year, I moved them all the way up to number 2, and I think a little bit of that is because they have the rest of the rotation behind them that are also incredibly talented. But we can't look at that because this is 1-2 punches, right? This is just the top 2 guys in the rotation. I put Castillo and Gilbert at number 2. Hate me if you want. I put them above Gallen and Montgomery. I put them above Burns and Bradish. I think they're the real deal. The Mariners have one of the best starting rotations in the entire league. Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo are at the helm of that, man. I think they're incredibly talented. I put them at number 2 in my own list. At number 5, this is kind of where it gets a little bit more fishy for the Bleacher Report list. Do they think this is still 2021? Now, I know Carlos Rodon has been doing solid to start the year. I think he got hit around the other day a little bit, but Carlos Rodon is not the same pitcher that we've seen 2021 and 2022 before he went to the Yankees last season. He is not the same guy. In my opinion, it should be Garrett Cole and probably Marcus Stroman. Are they looking at money? Are they looking at value? Like I don't really know why they put Cole and Rodon. Now, Garrett Cole is obviously, when he's healthy, he's probably the best pitcher in the entire league. I don't want to say that because I'm a Blue Jays fan, but I will admit Garrett Cole is probably the best pitcher in the entire league when he's healthy. Carlos Rodon, he's not been the same guy since he came over to the Yankees. Like I said, he started off this season relatively decent. He got blown up I think in his recent start, actually, he got blown up. So that kind of sucks, obviously, but I can't fathom putting them at number 5 because of injuries. Garrett Cole is hurt right now, and I don't even know if we know exactly when he's coming back. I believe in the summertime at some time. I believe June or July, All-Star break maybe. Um, is it bad that I moved them outside my own list because of injuries and because of we haven't seen Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon together at an elite pace? Like, we've never seen them together. You know what I mean? Um, at number 6, they got Tyler Glasnow. They got Yamamoto. I moved these guys up a little bit, and I don't really know if I really like that I did that because Yamamoto, this is his first season. I've kind of criticized other guys in this list for either being hurt or not really having much experience with the other pitcher. Yeah, whatever. Tyler Glasnow, somebody that's been hurt over the last few years. We've never seen him at his full capacity. But if we're talking about right this very instance, Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto, probably a top 4 1-2 punch in the entire league. I put them at number 3 on my list. I maybe move them down a little bit now that I think about it. They had them at number 6. I think that's respectable. Maybe I moved them down to number 6 as well. They are incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong. They're very good. Very, very good. I hope Tyler Glasnow can have an entire season. I hope Yamamoto can have an entire season as well. So if they have an entire season under their belt, I would probably definitely solidify them in the top 3 because Tyler Glasnow is that good. Yamamoto has been that good so far. Number 7 for the Bleacher Report list, they have Kevin Gausman and Jose Barrios. I put them down at number 8. I moved them down just a notch. I think a little bit of it is because I don't know. I think just some of the other guys in this list are just better. I mean, I love Gausman. I love Barrios. Barrios has been absolutely insane this year. Cy Young caliber type talent so far with the Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman in his last 4 starts, I believe, has an under 1 ERA. He has been incredibly good too. They've been very good. Gausman and Barrios have been steady as can be over the last few years. 2022, with an exception of Jose Barrios, if you know, you know. Gausman 3rd in Cy Young last season. Great pickup for the Blue Jays. We signed Barrios to an extension just a couple seasons ago. Barrios has really shown it this year. Like, both of those guys definitely worthy of being on the list. You could also mention Yusei Kikuchi, man. Kikuchi has been incredibly good over the last 30 games, like 30 starts for him in his career, of course. You could also mention him in the list, but I moved them down to number 8 just because I think a couple of the other guys in this list are a little bit better. Now, in between 5 and 8 for me is where we have guys that they didn't even mention. I brought in Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize / Reese Olson at number 6 on my list. Now, I don't know if a lot of people probably wouldn't put them there. I completely understand that. The Tigers right now are a team that are really relying on their pitching. Their offense hasn't really got going. They've got a lot of guys that really haven't got going to start the season. Torkelson hasn't really got going. Carpenter hasn't really got going. Riley Green's really been the only guy that's been really doing anything super crazy offensively for the Tigers right now. But Tarek Skubal he is so good. When he is on his game, when he is healthy, and hopefully we can get a full season of him this year, he is incredibly talented. Casey Mize and Reese Olson have been pretty solid behind him as well. So that's why I kind of put Mize / Olson. I put them at number 6. Is that a little bit of a reach? I wanted to give them their flowers, man. Tarek Skubal is incredibly talented. The Tigers got a great rotation right there. They're above 500 baseball right now, almost solely because of their pitching. Because, like I said, their offense hasn't really got clicking yet. I put them at number 6. They don't even have them on the list. I don't know if it's because it's Detroit and it's a small market, or it's because it's Tarek Skubal and he's one of the more underrated pitchers in the entire league as well. And behind him, I don't know, maybe Bleacher Report doesn't even know who Casey Mize is. I don't know. I put them at number 6. That might be a little bit of a stretch. They didn't even put them on the list. At number 8, they have Logan Webb and Blake Snell for the Giants. Say what you want about Blake Snell. I put them at number 7, so I moved them up 1 notch on the list. I know I'm talking a lot about more underrated pitchers in the entire league. Logan Webb might be the number 1. I already mentioned Merrill Kelly. I mentioned Tarek Skubal. Logan Webb might be the most underrated pitcher in the entire league. He gets no love. He gets absolutely no love, and I feel bad for him because I don't even think he's been an all-star yet in his career. He's finished. I think he finished top 3 in Cy Young last season. He may have finished top 3 the season before. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last 2 seasons, Logan Webb has been one of the best in the entire league, not even just the National League. Blake Snell just won the Cy Young last season. If we're looking at just names, Logan Webb and Blake Snell, they should be higher on the list. Blake Snell hasn't really got off to a great start so far for the Giants. I put Webb and Snell / Jordan Hicks because I think Jordan Hicks is having an incredibly underrated season. I know, like I said, I know I'm talking a lot about underrated pitchers. Jordan Hicks has been absolutely lights out for the Giants. Coming into this season, I mentioned about him in one of my videos before, how he is being transitioned into a starter for the Giants, and I didn't really know how that was going to work. And it has been absolutely really, really good. Like they've done incredibly well with Jordan Hicks as a starter, and I'm happy to see that. Former Blue Jay, so I obviously wish him luck. I put them at number 7. They got them at number 8. Like I said, I mentioned Hicks / Snell because Snell has been pretty brutal to start the year. But I have faith that he can pick it up to an extent. Number 9, they have Justin Steele and Shoto Imanaga, the new pitcher for the Cubs this year. I also put them at number 9. I think that's a reliable spot. Pretty. I think they're both incredibly good. Imanaga has started off at one of the best paces that we have seen from somebody coming up from overseas that we've ever seen. Like he's been incredibly good so far. I believe he has like a 1 ERA so far in like 4, 5, 6 starts. Justin Steele did start the season pretty much on the IL, so he's missed a good portion of time. But if we're talking about them together, like I mentioned before, Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Burns, Bradish haven't really got a lot of time together. Steele and Imanaga haven't got a lot of time together, so I think 9 is more respectable for them. But if we had this amount of games together to start the season, I would put them higher because I think Justin Steele is also a very underrated pitcher, man. People forget last year, most of the season, Justin Steele was probably the National League Cy Young. Towards the end of the season, he got hit around a little bit, so it went to Blake Snell. But Justin Steele was very, very good for the entire season last year, and I think he'll keep that up this year as well. Like I said, Imanaga has been incredibly good so far. So I think 9, we were both in the same headspace there, so we both put them at number 9. Number 10, they have Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez. Now, if we're talking about overrated guys in the entire league, just like 2 seasons ago, I used to look at Framber Valdez as the most underrated pitcher in baseball. I think Framber Valdez was incredibly good. I thought he was incredibly good in the playoffs. I thought he was incredibly good in the regular season, especially outside of guys like Justin Verlander and the rest of the rotation. Framber Valdez was kind of the guy to stand out, and I feel like Verlander was getting all the attention and obviously the rest of the Astros. Framber was the guy that was steady as can be. I think it was the end of 2022, I believe, where he had that insanely good streak to end the season of quality starts, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was the most of any lefty pitcher ever in a row, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But anyways, I put them at number... Sorry, actually, I put them outside the top 10. They have them at number 10. I put them outside the top 10. I put them in an honorable mention just because I feel like we know what they can do together. They have won rings together. We know who Verlander is. He might be 45 years old now, but Verlander is still an incredibly good pitcher. Or at least we think he is. He hasn't pitched yet this year. Much at all, I don't think. Framber Valdez hasn't really got off to a crazy good start. He just got beat around by the Mariners, I know, the other night. I don't know if I would put them at number 10. Number 10 for them feels like it's a little bit due to respect, I feel like there's just better options so far this year. I don't know how they don't mention Tanner Houck and Cutter Crawford. Tanner Houck and Cutter Crawford, I believe, are number 1 and number 2 in F-WAR when it comes to starting pitchers in the entire league. I wanted to put them higher. I put them at my number 10. I wanted to put them higher. I think it's okay to put them at number 10 because this is the first time we've seen this happen. They've only been 6 starts into the season, so it's okay to only put them at number 10. I wanted to put them higher because they deserve the flowers. Tanner Houck, Carter Crawford have been insanely good. Andrew Bailey is the new pitching coach for the Red Sox this year, and he has been doing insanely good. Like, the Red Sox have the best pitching in the entire league, even with injuries right now. They got the best pitching. So props to Andrew Bailey, props to the entire Red Sox organization because they're doing what they can despite all the injuries that they got. Mentioned honorable mentions before. I talked about Verlander and Valdez. Also got to look at Renato Lopez, and I put Fried/Sale for the Braves right now because Max Fried has been good this year. Chris Sale has been good this year. Chris Sale, like, we didn't really know what to expect from Chris Sale, so I think anything out of Chris Sale was good because at least he's on the field, right? And he's been pretty solid. I think he's been like well over a 100 ERA plus in the regular season so far. Renato Lopez also has been like one of the best pitchers in the entire National League so far. We didn't really know what to expect from those guys, so I think we could probably expect a little bit of a decline towards the end of the season. If that happens, that's okay. That's why I wanted to mention them in a honorable mention, and I think that is perfectly fine. So, that is their top 10 on the screen right now. I'm not going to post a picture of my own, but I did have my own. I have Wheeler and Ranger Suarez at number 1, which I think is respectable. I think that is very respectable. They have Wheeler and Nola. I just wanted to come on here and talk about it because I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it because when I see a list like this, I think, man, I don't know. I don't really know who's working. I don't really know who's working at Bleacher Report right now, I'll be honest. But you know how it works. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Please comment down below who you guys think is the number 1 and 2 in the entire league. Do you guys think it's Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez? Do you think it's Wheeler and Aaron Nola so far? Do you think it's Yamamoto and Tyler Glasnow? Who do you guys think? Comment down below who you guys think is the best 1-2 punch in the entire MLB. We are live 5 to 6 times over on Twitch under the same handle, Resurrection00. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.